Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel, back from LA at E3. I'm back in the regular studio, and today we are going to be sharing our cast assessments of the new Big Brother 20 house guests. If you were up tonight, if you were up this morning, the cast was dropped on CBS. If you stayed up last night like I did, there was a big announcement from a certain past winner. I don't know if we're allowed to name drop him, but we're going to be going through all the house guests tonight. We're going to be sharing our thoughts on their interviews. There were quite a few interviews going across the different news sites. But joining me today to go through it all is Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, Adam. How was your trip to LA?
Amazing. I was at E3. I was in the Smash Bros event. It was, I don't know if you know what any of those words mean, but
Smash
I played
Bros.
Fortnite. It was fun. I had a blast. I missed out on our episode, but we're going to be doing. You kind of brought me to that. Eric and I are going to be doing a mega episode this Wednesday for America's Got Talent, but more information on that, you can follow me on Twitter. All right. So, Ryan, you ready to get down to it?
Let's trash talk these people.
But actually, before we get to the cast, since this is our first episode that we're going to be talking about Big Brother, I would like to kind of talk a little bit about our experiences and how we kind of started to become a fan of it. So I started season 15, actually. I had a cousin who was really into it, and I have since become obsessed with the show. I've gone back and watched every single season except for 2 and 3, which, I mean, that's the Dr. Will, so maybe one day. I want to say that my favorite house guests from the show are probably Eric Stein and Vanessa Russo. If they were asking me at this event, that's what I would say my two favorites are. What about you, Eric? How did you start to watch getting into Big Brother?
So I got into Big Brother when I was 10 years old. Big Brother 10, it was the first episode. I was over at my aunt's house. I didn't like being at my aunt's house, so I was trying to avoid like talking to them. So I found the TV and I was going through channels and I found the show and I saw Jerry on screen. I was like, what's happening here? And from then on, I just kind of fell in love with Big Brother. And then the next summer, I was in South Carolina with my grandparents, and I found out that they were like big fans of the show. And so I started watching it. I started watching that season with them too. And I started live feeding season 12. But obviously, I've like watched all the past seasons too. Favorite house guest has to be Janelle because she's the Big Brother competitor.
All right. So two more questions, two last intro questions. I want to ask, what would you say of all the seasons you've watched, what was your favorite Big Brother move that a contestant made?
Favorite Big Brother move?
Yeah. Play. Any big thing that happened?
Definitely Dan's funeral.
Yeah.
Dan, to me, Janelle is my favorite player. Dan, on the other hand, is the best player to ever be on the show. And that is just like the pinnacle of what he's able to do in that house.
Definitely agree. All right, last question. If you could play on any Big Brother season, which would you want to have played on?
Oh, wow.
Putting you on the spot.
I would say, honestly, Big Brother 10. That house was wild. To be in that house would have been like, wow, that's an experience.
I would have said 17. That's my favorite recent season. I loved just about every single cast member, with some exceptions. But anyway, that all out of the way, we are going to get into the house guests. So, like we said earlier, Evil Dick last night, I think it was like at 2 a.m. by me, all of a sudden starts throwing out names, and everything is kind of coming out, and some people are saying this is actually legit. So we have our cast members. First, we are introduced to the 16 new house guests. There were some rumors going around that there would be returning players. Still don't know if that's true or false. I'm leaning towards, I guess it's probably going to be false. So this is it. We got our 16 house guests. And the first one we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going in order of this interview that I found. We're going to be talking, his name is Faisal Shafat, but he goes by his nickname Fessy. He's 26 years old. He's from Orlando, Florida. He is a substitute teacher. His fun facts about himself, he says he secretly loves Taylor Swift, and he wet the bed until he was 10 years old. Also, his favorite Big Brother past guest was Victor. Are you a fan of this guy?
No. Goodbye. First off, he seems like a nice guy. I'll give him that. I'm sure he's lovely, whatever. But like, he's just dumb. Like I don't think there's much up there. And I like okay, here's the thing. When he introduces himself to Ross, Ross is like, "Oh, we're talking to America." He then reintroduces himself to America as if we didn't hear him. Like I just don't think there's much working upstairs with this one.
You kind of touched on a point that I forgot to mention, but I'm just gonna say it right now. We have a special new interviewer doing the interviews. Jeff is no longer doing them. We have, like you said, is Ross Matthews. I really like having him on. He was pretty on point. I love when he would call people out. I think he did a little bit on him, but I love that we're bringing back someone like him. I feel like Ross is still one of the most robbed second placers next to Danielle Reyes, probably, right?
Yeah, and Dan in season 14.
Oh yeah, and Dan, of course. So for Faisal, last things that he mentions in his interview is that his strategy for winning the game is to find a loyal person or two and use his social game and let his physical gameplay show at the end more than the beginning. So it sounds a little bit like he's going to try and lay low. He doesn't want people to know how much he's capable of, which I don't know if that's. I feel like people might see through it. I don't know about him. If I was walking into the house and I saw this guy, I would be a little bit intimidated. I mean, I don't think he would be a good player, but just his intimidating figure might put some people a little off. Do you agree? Would you, if you were to walk into the house and he is one of the house guests you're competing with, what would be your impression of him?
He would be intimidating until he opened his mouth because I don't know. There's just not a lot like that he seems to have on people mentally. And the thing is, like, he's a substitute teacher, and teaching I feel like is the most underappreciated and like difficult job, especially being a substitute teacher. You get no respect, but like, I don't know. He talks about having to deal with like kids trying to manipulate him in the classroom, which is fair, but I don't know how much he able to translate that type of skill to the house. And I just feel like he's going to be the biggest tool. Like everyone is going to be able to use him for what they need him for, and then just discard him. And he's not even going to realize that. I don't know if he'll even care.
I think a little bit. He's probably just like showman spotter. Like he's one of those contestants that's probably just brought on. You know what I'm saying a little bit?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't see him, being a big player. I feel like you mentioned, he seems like someone who's more easily manipulated than a manipulatee. But Ross asked him the question, would you rather win and be hated or lose and be loved? It's a classic question. It's asked every single time during these interviews. And he says he would rather win and be hated, which that gets a thumbs up for me. I feel like there's a part of me that always is like, if anyone's going to be if they're going to be saying that they'd rather lose than be loved, why are you here a little bit? Do you agree?
My gut instinct is to agree, but there have been players like Jessica last season who I'm pretty sure could be wrong, but I think she said she'd rather lose and be loved, which she didn't play like that, which was nice. So the thing that I do want to like preface before we get into other people too, while we're saying this stuff now, like I guarantee almost over half of what I think right now is going to change by premiere night, and then 90% of that by week 2. Like nothing is concrete, and most of what they say in the interviews now will probably be the opposite by the time they get in the house.
Are you saying that Faisal's going to be our new Dan Giesling?
You know what? I think Dr. Will better watch out.
He better watch out. So that's, there's not really that much to talk about for him. I feel like we said, he seems like these first impressions, there's very little that you can go off of. When these people are being interviewed, they are in like interview mode, like they're in business mode. I feel like once they get into the house, give them a week or two, I think they've already moved in actually, probably today. Then we'll get to see what kind of players they really are. But right now, I pre-jury, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I would say pre to like early jury. He's not going to win. He's not going to.
I can maybe see him as a Devin, kind of like an early HOH, like blowing everything up, but that's kind of wishful thinking. I guess, do you have any final thoughts on him?
I just don't think he has the like killer instinct or the aggression to win Big Brother.
What do you think? If you got to coach him, what do you think you would say to him? What do you think would be some advice you would give him to try and make him a better player?
Honestly, I would let him be used for like a little while, let people think what they want about him, but then like I would just try and make him self-aware of how he's playing the game and what position he is in the game, because I just don't trust that he will have that self-awareness.
I feel like, in my opinion, his best potential run is to find himself like his Ika Wong and be the Dimitris to it, where he could maybe go on like a comp run, and I feel like it could maybe because down the line maybe it could be the Ica who goes home and he could be the one like he could paint himself, undermine his like mental ability, play up like his showman's ability. That's a path I could see for him. I mean, Demetrius was one competition away from winning, so it could still happen.
True.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next contestant. It is Bailey Dayton. She's 25 years old. She's a flight attendant from Lee Summit, Missouri. She says the past house guest that she likes the most is Donnie, and her strategy to win the game is she wants to be Miss Congeniality and not be fake or too nice. She wants to let everyone else kind of blow up and kind of do her own thing for a little, which could be a solid strategy. Some fun facts that she lists about herself. She's the first ever African-American Miss Missouri, and she's a closeted dweeb who loves cartoons and Marvel comics. And I just have to say, there's a lot to like about this girl. Do you agree?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I really want to like her, and I think she has some strong qualities, but I don't think she has the game knowledge to do well as of now. She very well could learn that, and there are plenty of people that go into Big Brother and do learn that as they're going. But I'm nervous that she's not going to quite be able to grasp like the strategic aspect of the game quite yet.
I agree. I feel like though she is one of the contestants that can kind of like learn it on the fly as she goes. I see a lot of potential in her. I feel like she's very like she seems someone who's very like her interviews kind of paint her as very approachable, very like nice. I feel like she just seems like a friendly person, and just being like in those early rounds, I don't see her blowing up. I don't see her like being exposed or anything. I feel like she just seems like a genuinely nice person, someone that I feel that people will want to rally behind. I mean, there's some rumors going around that this season is going to be very social media centric. I don't know if you want to kind of touch on them, but what do you kind of share my sentiments that she's probably going to be good till jury?
I hope so. The thing is, like, I got the sense that she was very nice, very approachable. She is someone who could learn the game really well, which I liked. But she kept saying to Ross, like, "Oh, I gotta hold my tongue. I'll come back at you. Like, don't come for me unless I send for you." Like, she was saying that stuff, but that's not the vibe she was giving. So I'm just, if like she really is, like if she really does go off that often, like in real life, like she says she can hold it in the house, but that never happens. So if what she was saying was true, that makes me concerned for her in the house.
You do make a good point. Like we mentioned earlier, this is they're still in interview mode where they're kind of trying to say the right answers. I feel like maybe the interview with Ross is a little bit more like the genuine of what they are going to play like. It's just too early to call a little bit, I feel, with her, but I would a little bit later next week, and she's someone I might maybe have on. You hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hello? I think we lost Ryan. Are you there?
Yep.
We cut out for a second. All right. I was just saying that Bailey's someone who I have my eye on for the draft. Any early throwouts you want to mention for the draft?
Yeah, I'll keep stuff to myself. Don't worry.
All right. So it's a good thing you cut out. You didn't hear what I just said. All right. We're going to move on to the next contestant, who I feel we're going to have a little bit more to say about. It's Tyler Crispen. He's 23 years old from Hilton Head, South Carolina. He works as a lifeguard. He says his life's motto is "Do whatever the hell you want." When asked, "What do you think will be the most difficult part of living in the Big Brother house?" He says, "Getting people to believe anything I say," which I can kind of get behind a little bit. I can kind of understand that. He says the Big Brother cast members that he likes the most are Victor Arroyo, Zach Rance, and Dan Giesling. Pretty eclectic bunch. The thing is, I like that he's kind of seen a few seasons, which does give me hope. I hear also some people are saying that he is a pretty big fan. He's auditioned a lot in the past. What do you think about Tyler?
Okay, I'm gonna be really honest. This was the only interview that I didn't even make it through. I've seen David Gurton before. Anyone who's seen David Gurton on Twitter has seen more of him than they need. Like, we don't need this character again. I'm not interested. He's like, I'm gonna say I'm a super fan, which maybe he is, but like, I don't know. I just didn't care. Next,
The thing is, like I said, he's auditioned in the past. There's like pictures going around of him with the Morgan and Alex Willette, which kind of cool. I mean, I think there were some other contestants who like I don't remember who it was, but they said on Twitter that they had seen him like at finals, like working out in like the same gym with them at finals, which is good. I don't see David. I see a little bit more Frank, honestly, from
really,
Big Brother 14. I I mean, there, like you said, we've seen this trope so many times. We've seen it with Hayden, we've seen it with Frank, we've seen it with David. It's an overdone trope. I I don't think he's going to be a David. I think he has more potential. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing stuff out against the wall, but I was kind of digging him. I was like, this he could maybe you're nah.
I just there are other guys that I think will take his spot in terms of being like an alpha male in the house, retaining that power. And I also don't see any strategic ops that are like, oh wow, he's gonna do anything. I don't know. I don't. I think it's a wasted cast spot.
Okay. He's asked the question: would you rather win and be hated or lose and be loved? He said he would rather win and be hated. So that's a positive right there. I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted on him. I like him. I think he's cool. I like that he has that connection to the Willette sisters, who are some of my favorite other contestants. Not at the top of my tier, but that's a whole discussion for another podcast. And I guess we're gonna kind of move on, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I will say anyone who says they like Zach Grants, that's a big negative in my book.
I mean, maybe he just watched the show.
Probably.
All right, so we move on to oh god, a contestant that her name is Angie Lantry. She goes by the nickname Rockstar. She's 34 years old from Columbia, Maryland. Her job is she's a stay-at-home mom. She says her three adjectives that describe her are eclectic, entertaining, and magical. Her favorite Big Brother cast member that she likes the most is Joey from Big Brother season 16. And in my opinion, I think she kind of looks a little bit like a cross of Joey with Edna Mode from The Incredibles. Do you agree?
On that she looks like that? Yeah, I'll agree with that. As for Angie, okay, here's the thing. She's cracked. Like, this girl is, for like the 3 hours that she's in the house, she's going to be great. But she's not making it past night one if they have a night one eviction. Like, it's just not happening. And that's so annoying. Like, maybe there'll be some twist that, like, she gets put in a good group and survives. But she has night one boot written, like, all over her.
I feel like there are a few people that have night one boots like written all over them, but only one person can go through. But you do mention night one boots. Do you think that we are going to be seeing a return of that this season?
I think that's a trend that they've started. It started in 14, and then it happened 18 and 19, and I just feel like it's something they like to do.
Okay. I hope not. I just if they're going to do them, I would say do them the Big Brother 19 route. But if we do that, we would need to have Paul again, and I never want him on a Big Brother season ever. So she seems kind of nuts, but she's oh, I forgot. She also mentioned she has another favorite house guest, Frankie from season 16. She in my opinion has like what's the word? A recruit a little bit, kind of.
She has been in the hotel and watched 3 episodes of Big Brother 16 is what she has done. Like, she seems fun, and I'm sure we'll get like a good gif or two, but I just know she's going to be out early, and I'm not going to get attached.
Wow, you're digging yourself in. She's going to end up being like the Cassandra or the Ika Wong, and she's going to end up winning, and you're going to be sorry.
Don't disrespect Ika like that.
She'll be like Edna. She'll be the mad scientist.
I will say though about Angie Rockstar, she did give some good quotes already. Some of America's Gonna Drag You No Matter What. I liked that. She ended her interview with just by saying like, "I'm every woman," which like, you know, I feel like she's gonna be a lot of fun, and I can appreciate that.
Okay, like I said, I like her. I think it's too early to tell with her. I feel like there's a lot of people on this cast who are characters. She is in my opinion, one of them. I think that I need more. I need to see more. Honestly, is what I have to say on her. I'm not for or against her. I would say I want to see more. Though. That's what I'm going to say. So we move on to the next contestant. It is Caitlin Herman. She's 24 years old from Plainview, New York. Her job is she's a life coach, even though she's pretty young to be a life coach. She lists her fun facts about herself as she's often caught herself sleeping with her eyes open, which is very, very terrifying. If I was to walk by and see that, I would be very scared. And her story is that she went to a psychic medium with the hopes of connecting to her deceased grandfather, but the medium instead told her that she will one day become the most influential self-help woman in the world. This girl might be a little crazy. What do you think?
Oh, she's also cracked, and I'm a big fan. But I feel like she has maybe some game chops that could back it up, which I'm very interested in what she could do in the house. I don't really, honestly, I have no idea what kind of route she will take in the house, but I think it'll be a fun one to watch.
I'm a fan of hers. Like she's just like the right amount of like nuts, which you're not quite sure if maybe she's playing it up a little bit to get on the show, because that's the thing. You don't know if she's like, maybe she's not that serious about this and it's kind of just the role she's trying to paint for herself going into the show. I have my eye on her. She's someone I like. The thing is, I'm a little worried about her maybe being a goat, but too early to tell. She could be dragged a little bit. I don't see her in the showmance. I feel like she is probably going to end up a little solo dolo.
I think she has a boyfriend of like 5 years or something.
Oh, well, there you go. Go on.
I will say, like in my notes, I wrote like Pawn Star. I think it's going to get to that point in the game if she makes it far enough where she probably will be in that position. But I feel like she's the kind of player who like will try, and I think America will like her. But I just don't know if she. I hope she'll win. I hope she can win, but I just don't know if she will.
You want her to win? Whoa, we just started the cast assessment.
I think she'd be a fun winner. I mean, I'm sure like by week 2, now that I've said that, I'll hate her, but we'll see. One thing that really worries me about her, though, is she said that she has issues with like people complaining or not enjoying themselves, which, sis, do you know what house you're going into? Because like walk into that have not room and be like, come on, like, why don't you like this? That's not gonna fly for long.
Oof. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I don't know. I like her. She's on the bubble for me. Like she's in my top 3 picks of like the people that I've most coming away from these interviews kind of enjoying. She also says she's one of the contestants who says she would rather win and be hated. Good for her. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that she's not open to a showmance. I made that mistake. I don't know how her status as a fan, which I don't know. Do you think she's a fan of the show or a recruit?
I think she's a fan. She said, well, at least she said she liked Celebrity Big Brother, which like at least she has good taste, you know?
Well, Big Brother was really, really good until the last 10 minutes where it all went awful and Ross was robbed. But I liked her. That's all I really can say. Do you have any final thoughts on her?
I'm very excited to see what she does. I don't have a firm idea of what kind of route she'll take in the house like other people, but I'm at least happy that she's here.
Oh, there's just some other questions she had. What do you think will be the most difficult part about living inside the Big Brother house? She says, not having her crystals, oils, yoga mats, books, or journal. She says she has a daily ritual of self-love, and she will try to come up with new ways to make time for herself. And also her favorite Big Brother cast member that she likes the most is Victor Arroyo. She talks a lot about her and Nicole. She says they are a match made in heaven. A lot of people said Victor and Paul. Which does kind of get me a little nervous. What are your thoughts on all these people saying that they're looking to?
It makes me nervous that they've been given 16 and 18 in sequester, and we're now weeding out the people who are just really watching 16 and 18 in sequester. It's
true. I guess Dan Giesling is like one of the older, like that. He's like an old guy now. Like 16 and 18. These are the ones that everyone's watching. It's if you're in sequester, just request 17 and 14. Like those are the ones. You got to go recent. I don't know why. Like CBS just really, really dislikes season 17, but one of my favorites in the most recent, like past 15. It's after season 15. It's probably my favorite.
And it's my favorite.
Yeah, Vanessa Russo, who is the most robbed in of the recent. Well, actually, I don't know. I love Vanessa. She's
She's
a
one.
boss. Anyway, she's she's one. Next, we move on to Scotty Salton, who he's 26 years old. He's currently living in Chicago, Illinois. He works as a shipping manager. His fun facts about himself were probably the ones that had me raising my eyebrow and like laughing a little bit. Not at him, but like kind of they're funny stories. He says he got catcalled while working at AMC during 50 Shades of Grey. He describes himself as a 26-year-old virgin who has never been kissed. And he has a story. He was grounded when his brother threw up on him, which, okay. His life motto is that when the shark is hungry, he eats. What do you think about him?
So the first thing I wrote in my notes was his voice is a lot. I don't know how living with that voice is gonna work. I kind of thought the same thing about Rennie. Obviously, Rennie is one of the best players to ever walk in that house, so that worked out for her. But like, I just don't know how hearing his voice every day is going to gel with other house guests. I think he's very self-aware, which I like, but I don't know that he cares to work around the issues that he's self-aware about, if that makes sense. Like he was talking about, like, you know, I'm going to be like the dud guy of the season. I'm going to, like, he's going to be a prick in the dining room, which I thought was funny, but I just don't know that he will care to try and work around his weaknesses.
From a story perspective, he's like a clone of Scott from Big Brother OTT, which is kind of crazy for me.
We are not talking about him.
Why do you like that? What?
I'm not talking about
Scott?
No, I'm done. We're done there.
Well, I like To the Ball Smashers, and on that note, he says that the past Big Brother cast member he likes the most are Evil Dick, which is cool. He says he likes players who can win comps and put their personality into their strategy. He likes people who can back up their talk. And he says his strategy for winning the game is he wants to knock out the floaters and butterflies first, which honestly, in my opinion, if I was ever blessed enough to be cast on a season of Big Brother, that would probably be what I would want to go for, because those floaters, if like, I feel like the term floater is like being misused a lot. There's like the term that Daniel Reyes and Dr. Will used, and then there's the more modern version that Rachel kind of pivoted the idea into. In my opinion, the floaters are like the Pawn Stars. Like, I don't like those people who are just always on the block, because if you're next to them, like come eviction night, it's basically set what's going to happen. In my opinion, I would go for those people first, because then there could be a new Pawn Star, and hopefully it's not you. Do you agree?
I would say a real floater is always someone like Andy, someone like June, who intentionally floats from power to power and is intentionally working with everyone. A Pawn Star is more of a coaster, a Victoria, a Velcro, whatever you want to call her. But I don't know. I feel like for someone like Scotty, if you set the tempo of going after people like that early, I think he might be falling into that category sooner than he wants to. So I think he should be careful in that aspect.
I think you're underrating how big of a compy Scotty Salton is going to be, both with the competitions and the ladies. Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really liked at the end when Ross is like, go ahead, look into the camera, tell America why they should root for you. And he was like, no, I don't think they should. Like, they know more than I do. Let them do it. Like, I respected that.
Yeah, he calls himself a dud, like, which is a little too self-degrading. He seems cool. Like, his voice, like, the first second when he started talking, I was like, oh, like, he's very, very there, but he seems like he could be like a little bit like sarcastic and witty. I'm excited for him. He's one of the boys, like the boys kind of a lot of them kind of blend together. He's one who definitely stands out. Like, he's one that is like, there's a lot of personality with him, and that's something that I appreciate. I don't know, like you mentioned, he could fall into the category of the contestants seeing him as the Steve and the Ian. I don't know if that trope is still kind of like alive, where it's target the nerd because the nerd always wins. But I don't know. Do you feel that kind of this season, this batch will go after the Ian and Steve types
I
like they
don't
did
know.
Cameron?
The thing is, like, I can't tell if he is that type. Like, I don't know if that's how he'll be perceived, if that's how he'll be grouped, because he kind of fits it. He kind of doesn't, because he's got like a different type of personality and like way about him. But like, if he does end up being like the nerd of the season, get him out. I don't want that. We have had enough. Get him out.
I feel like there's the Scott kind of nerd, and then there's like the Steve and Ian kind of nerd, and like Cameron's kind of more towards that. I feel like he's kind of like Scott. I don't know. The nerd trope has been like overdone a little bit. I would like to see people known for more than just that. I mean, I guess it is a trope that the producers kind of like. But for Scotty, I don't. It's just the way he talks. Like, I feel like I'm a little worried some people might not take him seriously. I don't see him like starting an alliance. Maybe he's like the Ronnie a little bit. Like, that's another kind of person who fit into the trope. I would be afraid of him getting an early HOH. I would prefer that he not. I would think, I don't know. There's like a lot of different angles for him. He's one of the contestants that I feel like going into the season, there's probably a lot of different ways he could go. He could try and go the Virgin King route, or he can try and do, I don't know, try and get in with the boys. Like, he's nerdy, but I feel like the boys will kind of accept him a little bit, like a Joel kind of. Do you agree? Which route do you think he should go? Should he try and go like with the girls or try and go with the boys? Because I feel like he's one of those contestants that can maybe go both routes.
I think he should be a classic floater. I feel like that is his place. He can be the Andy type. He can be that person that, you know, silently floats around. And the thing is, people say, I hate Andy, I hate that game, but that game gets you money. So I think you should, and I think Scotty's the kind of person, the kind of fan that would embrace that. So I hope he does.
You did mention Andy. I was about to bring him up. He kind of, there's like a slight resemblance between Andy and Scotty. I don't know if you saw it, but like some people were like mentioning it, and now I kind of see it. Like, dye his hair red, and it might be Andy.
Oh,
but,
actually, yeah.
That's kind of all I really. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? Maybe he can play the Andy game. Maybe he's going to be the Cameron. You never know. It could go either way. I feel like Steve and Ian, if he can survive that first week, he probably could go deep, honestly. I feel like he's not going to be starting his own alliance. He could be used as a number. Like you said, I do agree. I think the Andy game is the route for him. I don't know if he's capable of playing it. I don't think many people would be capable of playing the Andy game and pulling it off. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I have high hopes for him, honestly. Like, I think he can do it. He's in my top 3 also of other contestants, I would say.
So
do you agree, or would you kind of no?
So your top 3 is Bailey, Scotty, and Caitlyn?
I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I should have said that. Go on.
You know, I think that he's gonna be. I think if he does go the Andy route, I think he might be a potential winner. Honestly.
Would you welcome him as a winner? I mean, would you? Well, we kind of have to see. But
no, I don't want him to win.
Oh.
That would irritate me. But you know what? Like, if he plays well enough, like, I'd rather have someone whose game I respect for once win, because I haven't got that the last 2 seasons.
Okay. He also says that he's a super fan. A lot of super fans and fans in this cast, which is something I always am happy to see. He is another contestant who says he'd rather win and be hated. So you go to Scotty. I'm rooting for you. So we're going to move on to the next contestant. It is Angela Rumens. She's 26 years old from Hilton Head, South Carolina, but currently lives in Playa Vista, California, which is a pretty cool name for a town, Playa Vista. She works as a fitness model. She says 3 adjectives that describe her are spontaneous, scheming, and headstrong. She says that the part of being in the Big Brother house that will be the most difficult is the lack of social media and not being able to talk to her mother and having to release her roster of boy toys in LA. What do you think of Angela?
I Love her. I think she gave like Jessica, Janelle like type vibes. She actually recognized the diary room, which not a lot of people did, which was concerning, but you know what, she did, so she gets props for that. The thing that worries me is she does say the classic, like, well, naturally I relate better to guys. I don't like that. That's a red flag. We've seen people like overcome that in the house though, so I won't hold it against her. She is confident in playing the game. Like she knows what she wants to do. She's not scared of playing the game. She's not scared of getting her hands dirty. And I'm very, very excited to hopefully finally get like that strong female player that hopefully America embraces for once.
I'm gonna echo your sentiments. I absolutely love her. Like, love her. She's very pretty. She reminds me a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna regret it. She just in terms of look, she kind of reminded me of what she was saying in the beginning was a little bit Christmassy. But I hope that's not how she's gonna play. I have high hopes for her. She is. I like her. She's good. She's.
One of the things
I saw her in the house. Go on.
I was just gonna say one of the things that I wrote down was like she has the killer instinct that I don't think a lot of this cast does have. And that makes me excited because I feel like a lot of these people, like they know the game, maybe they're fans of the game, but they don't have like that instinct in terms of like go for the kill, go for the win. But this girl does.
Yeah. The thing is, a lot of people when the cast was first released, everyone was kind of talking about like someone like Bailey and Tyler. Not a lot of people were kind of talking about Angela, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of underrating her. I feel like she could be a threat. She seems hungry. She seems capable. She's athletic. Hopefully, she doesn't break her leg like Labor Day did. I have so much hope for her. I think she can do it. Like I can see her being a fan favorite. Like she has this personality about her that's very like approachable. I feel like people watching her are going to want to root for her. There's like some care package type thing or whatever they're doing, as they always tend to do. She is someone who they might have their eye on giving it to. I don't know about her being a power player. She seems to have some self-awareness. She does seem like a super fan. She is a fan. I see her. The thing is, the part that I'm most worried about is she gets into the house and she starts a showmance with Fessy. Like that would be like the worst case scenario for me because I want her to play solo. She could be like another Vanessa. She's someone I'm rooting for. Do you think do you agree?
So there are two quotes from her that I wrote down. That one that really made me excited, one that scared me for her. She said, naturally I relate better to guys. I can get myself in the middle of the all guys alliance. No, you can't. That never works. It has never worked and it will not work for you. You know better than that. Please don't do it. But then she says, I want to come off like the ditzy dumb girl. And that is the route that she should take. And that's the route that, like, if you want to play Big Brother, you need to come off as underrated, as dumb, as you don't know what you're doing. You're not a good competitor. You need to start off like that. And I think she understands that way more than most other people. So I'm hoping that that is how she does play.
That's the Paris gameplay, which it's dangerous. You could get called out on it. Paris managed to pull it off. I don't think though Paris really deserved to win Big Brother Canada, but it's possible. Maybe she could pull it off. It's a dangerous position because once you're found out, then everyone's got their eyes on you, and then it's toast. Like that's the Audrey spot. Like when everything gets exposed and it all just goes crashing down, and then it all culminates with Devon pointing a finger at you and saying, your S has hit the fan point blank in the period, and then you're done. Once Devon is saying that to you, pack your bags, it's over. Last minute thoughts for me. She says that the Big Brother cast member that she likes the most is Rachel Riley. She says she loves how physical she was on the show, and she says she sees a lot of herself in her. She also says, and I quote, not to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of a freak athlete and I love to compete. I'm a fierce competitor and nothing brings me more joy than beating men at sports. That's from the Hollywood Reporter. That's where I'm kind of reading some of these things off of. But I like it. Like she's hitting all the notes. She's like she's saying all the right things. Will it translate into a proper gameplay? I don't know. She could be like a Megan who tries really early, plays too hard, too fast, and it all just goes from there. Who knows? I have high hopes on her.
I'm definitely excited to see what she does. I'm nervous, but I think this is the kind of girl that has all the potential in the world to be like the player of the season. And I just hope that she pulls it off.
Yeah, I agree. She could be one of those like memorable contestants, like when you think back to season 17 or 18 or 19. It's all very preliminary. It's very all, but right now I could be totally wrong. I mean, I said the same thing about Tiffany Russo, so you never know. But I can't say I'm pretty high on her. Any final thoughts?
No, I think I'm a fan. She's someone that I would consider for a winner pick.
Whoa. Got to keep an eye on her for the draft, I guess, Ryan. All right, we're going to move on to Rachel Swindler, which is a amazing last name. Perfect for Big Brother. She is 29 years old from Myrtle Beach, South in Las Vegas. She works as a Vegas entertainer, and she says 3 adjectives that describe her are sarcastic, loyal, and passionate. There's a bit of a story. She actually auditioned, I think, for 18 or 19, and she got like to the top 21. It was like cut just before making it onto the show. She's actually pretty good friends with Jackie from season 17, which right there is a bit of a check off from me. She's kind of like middle for me, high middle for me. I'm not ready to put her at the top, but I feel like I could root for her. Do you agree?
So I'm gonna be really honest. The only reason that I am like so high on her right now is because she's friends with Jackie. I love Jackie. She is the most underrated player. I think she could have torn up that house. I want her to get another chance, but that's a story for another time.
Another reason why we hate Steve.
I actually don't hate Steve that much. Anyway, for Rachel though, she gives the kind of like vibe that she's there to play the game. You know, like clearly she's like a nice person, but she does care about the game, which I appreciate. I know like she really does seem like a genuine fan. And the funniest moment was in her interview with Ross. He's like, "What's your strategy?" And she goes, "Jury management." And you can just see the look on his face, like he took some personal offense to that one.
They were trading blows during that interview.
That was one of my favorite moments. But you know what? She's self-aware. She's seen the issues that have arisen from the last few seasons. And she knows like she has a strong game sense. I'm worried that she will be too emotional. Maybe she doesn't have the killer instinct, but I think that she's friends with Jackie, and I think she's friends with James Ryan too. So like obviously she has Big Brother like in her blood, it seems like. So I want to say that she can do this.
She better be good. I mean, there's so much going for her right now, and I'm like, you have to be good at this game. Like you have connections, you've gone through this process, you probably know the show very, very well. Probably even more than maybe you or I, but I want her to be good. That's all I can really say. She's, like I said, not at the top for me, but near the middle top, like just kind of on the verge of breaking into that. A little worried about her getting into a showmance. I feel like maybe if she was lucky, she got some coaching from Jackie, although I don't know. I would take advice from Jackie. Would you take advice from Jackie?
Absolutely. Jackie is a great player and she deserves another chance.
Yeah, Jackie and Vanessa were my 2 favorites that season, and when she went home, I was just they were both my favorites were sent home by the same person. It's a harsh world we live in. But we're gonna move on, I guess, unless you have any final thoughts on her.
I don't know. The one thing I wanted to mention about her was the dub smashes that someone tweeted out that she did. Those were funny, and like that's the kind of personality that like I want her to bring to the show, and I feel like that's the kind of personality that like also eases her in with other house guests. You know, like she won't be viewed as like a threat. She'll be viewed as like the fun person you want to keep around, which is a good spot for her.
I agree. I don't think she seems like someone who's just her. She just seems like a genuine person. Her personality should be able to carry her through the first like couple of weeks. I see her in jury, honestly. And if she makes jury, she could make a run for it. I'm always a little worried about showmances because that automatically would put a target on her. I feel like alone she would probably do much better, but you know those kind of happen. Hopefully, I just hope we don't have another season like 19. I want this season to be good. These past few seasons have been a little rough, is all I can say. And on that note, we're gonna move on to another contestant that All right. It's his name is Chris Williams, but he goes by his nickname Swaggy C. He's 23 years old from Bridgeport, Connecticut. He works as a day trader. He says some fun facts about himself is he has a photogenic memory and he's taking swimming lessons. And in his interview with Ross, he comes in to the room and he's wearing a Swaggy C shirt. And I think this is the second coming of Jen Johnson.
There's so much to love and there's also so much to hate about him. Like, I loathe people nowadays coming in. Like when Jen came in with like Jensen, whatever, that's funny. But now people are coming in and like branding like their Instagram and their social media, and it's like, no, like please don't be there for that, you know? But he is going to provide entertainment and he's at least gonna make it fun. And he's like, he's confident. I'll give him that. Like he's confident in how he's gonna do. So I'm interested in that at least.
Yeah, he does talk about that. He says that he's going to give us a show. That's the one thing he says. You're going to be entertained. I'm going to keep you entertained, which, you know what? I appreciate it. If a contestant isn't playing to win, at least give us the entertainment. Don't be a Matt. Like, just be a Devin. If you're like, at least it's something to remember you for. Like maybe even, I don't see him like as a Josh figure, but like, I don't see, he seems like a fun guy. I don't know. I have high hopes for him. He's at the top of for like personality wise, like of the people that I think I'm going to be most entertained by for this season. He's not like in the best players, but you never know. Maybe this guy, like, I don't think we've seen a contestant ever that's like all personality and like a really good social game. Like those kind of never go together. Usually they're kind of sent home in like the first week, unless your name is Josh and you're saved by the golden apple. But you know, I don't know. I think I have high hopes for him a little bit. Like, I'm entertained. I feel like this story is going to end in like a flame out of glory. Like him just going out and like brutally, and I would like it.
I would like to touch on his strategy really quick.
You beat me to it. Go for it.
This was the most like non-committal strategy I've ever heard in my life, and I wrote it down. So his strategy for winning Big Brother, he's really revolutionized the game here. So here's what he wants to do. He wants to walk into the house and introduce himself as Swaggy C. Then he wants to win the first HOH. Okay, that's legitimate strategy. Okay. Then after he wins the first HOH, he wants to make it to jury. Then he wants to survive the double eviction, and then it's smooth sailing from there. That he did it. He unlocked Big Brother. He won. How can you beat that? That is a strategy.
He has broken the game. You didn't even touch on the best part. He had, I think it was an interview with one of the websites. I don't remember which one it was. He was asked a question, do you have a strategy? And his answer was, of course. And I just want to say, like, Whistle Nut from Jason last season is shaking. Like, just absolutely. Like, Jason last season, he said, what's your strategy? He said, do you have a strategy? He said, yes. I like this. This is like, if you're not going to be a good player, at least be messy and, like, give us something, give us a show. And he's giving it. And but the one thing, oh, go on.
I was just going to say, there's like a holy trinity of like cracked players this season. He's one of the three.
I can't imagine. Maybe he could win and be the first, like, I don't know. But the one thing, go on. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I want to bring this up so bad. The Paul shade that he threw in the interview was one of my favorite parts of today. When he was like, we'll get to like the lose and be loved stuff, but he was like, well, look at Paul, he's hated now. He just got kicked off the Amazing Race. That was what I wanted to hear.
I agree. But you know, he actually says in this interview, which Big Brother cast member did you like the most? He says Paul 3 times. Paul. He says that man got robbed of $1 million. He's a top 5 Big Brother player of all time, and he didn't even win. He's better than every single winner over the last 12 years, aside from Derek, Evil Dick, Dan, and Rachel. I don't know if I would. I don't know. Do you agree?
I did not know that until now, and I like him a lot less now.
But you know what? That all aside, I'm excited to see where this train is leading. Is all I can say. There's I have high hopes. Hopefully he's not a night one boot, because we would miss out on so much beautiful entertainment. And on that note, I guess we're going to kind of move on, unless you have any final thoughts.
The only thing that confused me about him was he said he would rather lose and be loved, which was in total contrast to everything else he was saying. it's like if you order, like if you plan a vacation around going to a chocolate factory and then you're like, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. Like that is the complete opposite of everything you just said and did. So I don't understand that.
One point I want to make is though, in his actually, I should have brought this up earlier, in his interview, when he does mention that Paul is better than he, and he lists like off a bunch of winners. Does that mean he watched those seasons? Like, is he a super fan? Like, I was just that it kind of implied that he'd been watching the show for a while, and if that's the case, that's a lot more knowledge for him. Maybe he's going to rein it in a little bit more once he gets into the house, and this is kind of show.
No,
do you think so? No,
absolutely not. There is no way he's going to win.
Right. I am excited for the second coming of Jen Johnson. Is all I can say. And now we're going to move on to the next contestant. It is Casey Clark. She is 30 years old from San Diego, California. Currently lives in Temple, Arizona.
That should be Tempe.
What?
I'm pretty sure that should be Tempe, Arizona.
Well, all right. Her job is she is a pro football player, and her favorite Big Brother cast member is Cody from last season because he was different and a badass. She also says that he went against the grain when everyone else in the house wanted to follow Paul because he was a previous cast member. I like this girl. This is a lot of people are kind of overlooking her. She seems to have a good head on her shoulder, is what I'm saying. I feel like she's going to be, hopefully, like aware. She seems like someone who would play aware. Like, I don't see her being like as a Chrissy kind of figure. I see her more calculated. I also don't see her being evicted early. She seems like she has a easy path to hang out with many different people on the cast. She could maybe be a winner pick, honestly. Do you agree?
I would love that. She's one of my personal personality favorites, I would say. And I think she has also the ability to transition that into gameplay. It worried me that she didn't recognize the diary room because if she is much of a fan as she says she is, which I feel like she is, but why didn't you get that? Anyway, one of my favorite lines from her was when she was talking about showmances, she's like, I'm not opposed to it except for being with a guy. That was hysterical. And I feel like she just has the cool factor, she's the person you want to be around. She's the person you want to be working with.
Yeah, what I think you're saying is she's more Erica, BB Canada than Yvette a little bit. She seems very approachable. She seems cool. She seems the kind of person that everyone would the word is accessible. She seems like everyone would want to go and talk to her. She seems like someone who's probably totally down to just sit and talk and just have a nice conversation with. I like her. She seems like someone who'd just be cool to hang out, which is such a bonus. She could play the Ariadna from the Celebrity Big Brother, where just being a good person and being someone who's willing to talk is such a strength that you just want them around because you would feel so awful about targeting them. And that is something that gives her so much power, in my opinion. I think she could be, like you mentioned earlier, the one thing I want to see is, does she have the killer instinct to slit someone's throat? Can she draw someone in, be so genuine because she is so genuine, and then totally turn it around and just brutally throw them under the bus? Do you think she's capable of that?
I think she's capable, but I'm worried she's not going to. I'm worried she's the kind of player that gets too comfortable. I'm worried that she will think that she's doing better in the house than she is and kind of be she might be the kind of person that gets mixed up in the minority of the house if a new alliance forms and then gets picked off really quick. I think that she has the skills, but I don't know that she is proactive enough to go out and secure her spot in the house, but I hope she is.
The thing is, I'm a little worried. She kind of, and just reading through her stuff, she kind of has fourth place Rob Goddess written all over her, a little bit a double eviction, even a person who's blindsided. I feel if I'm in the house with her, the best time to get her is during a double eviction because she's someone who I can imagine is just going to be so connected. But I feel that, like I said earlier, a winner pick, in my opinion, a fair winner pick. How she interacts with the other contestants is going to be telling. If she's I don't think she's going to be a kind of pompous person. She seems, like I said, very accessible. I'm giving her a thumbs up, is what I'm saying. Any final thoughts or anything on her?
I agree. I want her to do well. I'm worried that maybe she doesn't have as much as the killer instinct as I want her to, but I really want her to do well because she's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, she has a fun fact. She says she moved to Scottsdale for a girl, then broke up with her a few months living there, but ended up staying there and made a new life for herself. And she says Big Brother is the only TV show she watches.
I like it.
And I like it too. All right, we're going to move on to Winston Hines. He's 28 years old from Somerset, Kentucky, currently lives in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He works as a medical sales rep. He's the Big Brother contestant that he likes the most is Paul from last season. He says his mix of gaining others' trust while simultaneously screwing them was iconic. I don't know about how I feel about people saying Paul is their favorite contestant because I watch everything and I have a lot of thoughts on Paul. What do you think about Winston though?
I wrote Hello Wonder Bread. He's showman's bait. We're gonna blank. He's gonna be final 5. We're not gonna like it. That's it. I don't like him. I think he's a waste of a spot. I wish they would stop casting this person. He's not gonna do anything. He won't be memorable, and we won't enjoy him.
What we need is to beam in Karen from Big Brother Canada to put him up week 1 and then get him out and be just brutally about it because, like you said, he's showman's fodder. He is showman's fodder and all over him. Hopefully, like, what if he goes to Angela and is like, yeah, let's be in the showman's, and then that's just how it goes. Like,
we're not going to plant that seed.
It makes sense why he's here. I understand why he's here. I get that he is the showman's fodder. His strategy, he says, he hopes to use his interpersonal skills to gain trust from key individuals identified early. But unlike Cody from last year, he says you cannot come in and split the house too early. It's a waiting game, which, I mean, that's a little positive, I guess.
Yeah, he's boring. I don't care.
He says that when he's asked would he rather win and be hated, he said, or lose and be loved, he says he would rather win and be hated, which I don't know. Like, we've seen this trope so many times in past seasons. We've seen it with Corey. We've seen it with that guy Derek. We've seen it Derek on Big Brother Canada. Like the showman's that's just dragged along that like does nothing, adds nothing, and then during the double eviction like wins both HOH and veto, and then they're just. It's like, now you want to play? Like, we've been so invested in everyone else. Maybe he's not, though. Maybe he is, like, someone who's going to be, like, a Devin or someone who's going to be, like, get his pants all up and be like, this is my house, and you're going to, like, you're all going home.
Nope.
Like, nope, you don't see that?
Absolutely not. He's going to be boring, and he's going to last too long, and he's going to waste our time.
Who do you think who's going to be a showman's partner? I want to hear your prediction.
I'm gonna call Bailey.
Bailey?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, actually. Yeah, good point. I don't have that much to say about him on my notes. I mean, he's Wonder Bread. I like that.
Wonder Bread was my first note, and next was my last note.
All right, so I guess we're gonna move on, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to Sam Bledsoe. She's 27 years old from Stewart's Draft, Virginia. Her job, man, she's a welder. Some fun facts about herself. She used to be a hairstylist before working for a welder fabricator. She also might just be a Disney princess because she says she catches animals in her hands like snakes and raccoons, which, wow, that's a talent. What do you think about her?
Maddie Poppy is shaking. I think that she reminds me a lot of Jordan.
Bridget was my pick.
I think that she stands Jerry, which is a big plus. And she obviously does watch the show. She's not a super fan, but she watches like a lot of the seasons at least. And I think she has the absolute social skills to do well and to go far. But she comes off a lot older than she actually is, in my opinion.
I agree.
Which I'm worried. Like, my first instinct is she going to be the mom vibe of the season. Like, Angie Rock starring it, but is Sam going to be it? And I feel like she has the social ability to go far, but she doesn't have the strategic killer instinct. I
agree. I think she does kind of. I almost imagine her winning like HOH first week and like, Angie, get out, I'm the mom here. Like, and that's going to be how it's going to go. She actually lists her favorite past house guests as Danielle Donato, which is I like when people are willing and who have seen the show like are willing to say someone so far back is their favorite. I I don't have that much notes on her. I feel like she could be like what's the word that you used earlier? Like the person who's always sitting on the block, like a coaster on the block.
Oh, Pawn Star.
A Pawn Star. She was giving me those vibes a little bit. Like we do have to have. There's got to be someone in here who's our Victoria. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's Sam. By the way, I was just saying that there's probably going to be someone there, but I don't know. She's just there's a very interesting female cast here, and in my opinion, she's just not the most interesting. The most interesting thing about her is that she works as a welder, which is really cool. But other than that, there's just other people I like more than her. Honestly, I feel like I don't know. Do you kind of get those same vibes?
I actually personally like her. I just feel she said a lot of good stuff in terms of like she liked earlier seasons. She liked when it was a social experiment. She liked, that kind of stuff, which is good. That's what we want to hear, but I don't know how she will execute in the house, if that makes sense.
I almost feel like she was shading Danielle in her comment. She said that to the Hollywood Reporter. She's a smart girl who happens to be pretty, not a pretty girl who happens to be smart. I think that's a little bit shady, or am I just looking too far into it?
I think you're looking too far into it.
All right. Anyway, any final thoughts on her?
I hope that she has more of a game sense than I'm giving her credit for now.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe maybe she goes far. I don't know. We're gonna move on to the oldest contestant of the season. It's Steve Arienta. He's 40 years old. He's from Parsippany, New Jersey, but currently lives in Wanacue, New Jersey. His job is he was a former undercover cop. He says that three adjectives that describe himself are stubborn, competitive, and funny. The Big Brother cast member that he likes the most is Mike Boogie because he made him laugh. There's also some story going on that he was a politician. He, I think, ran for something, a seat somewhere, but I think he lost. What do you think about him?
Okay, you know what? I know that like me and other fans want every season the older house guests, the more normal house guests, the more relatable house guests. I understand that's what we asked for, but that's not what Steve isn't what we want. Like we want someone who's more like normal but exciting, and he's just so boring. He's so dull, and he doesn't have like the strategic upside of Derek. Not that Derek was fun to watch, but like at least Derek played. But I just don't feel like if Angie Rockstar gets some golden apple or something that saves her, then this is the first boot. But he's just never gonna win. He's not gonna do anything, and he's not gonna be fun.
Just keep going to Angie Rockstar. I think she's your winner pick, honestly, at this point. There was I don't know if I want to give publicity to this, but I guess we're gonna do it anyway. There were some tweets that people were saying he's very pro-Trump. So I feel like people are going to find that, and that is going to be just a reason to hate him right off the bat without even getting to know him. I feel like if there's like a vote against someone, could be at fault just for that. I don't like that to be a factor. I'd rather just base people on the merits of their game and not what their history in the past is. So I say to people watching, give him a fair shot. Is all I can say. I don't know. Maybe he could be good. Maybe he could be awful. Maybe he's the second coming of Glenn. Maybe he's like a Karen figure. You just never know. I don't know. I'm interested to see more, is what I'm saying. I'm not ready to like totally discount him, but he won't win. I don't think he's not. He doesn't look like he's going to be very capable in the competition. But we'll see. You agree?
Two things. One, Adam is more open than I am. Send him home, America. He doesn't need a chance. He can go home, whatever. Who cares? Goodbye. No, we don't need that. Second off, he's more Joey Rodriguez than he is Kevin. He's just not going to gel. And there's no point in putting him in the house if he doesn't have a chance.
Okay. I think that's fair. I don't know. Can he, he the Joey Rodriguez? I didn't even realize that you said that and not Glenn. I actually met Glenn, funny enough, but that's a story for a different time. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're going to kind of move on to the next contestant unless you have any final thoughts for the future winner of Big Brother.
Nope, you can go home.
All right, next up we have Brett Robinson. He is 25 years old from Oakdale, Connecticut. He currently lives in Charlestown, Massachusetts. He works as a cybersecurity engineer. His fun facts about himself is he hacks into friends' computers for fun. He's very good with his adjectives. I was watching. I think you mentioned earlier one of the contestants that you clicked out of his interview because it was just so boring. That was kind of me for this guy. He was talking a lot about like his work, and I was kind of bored. He's kind of like a little dull. I mean, he's another contestant, showman's fodder. Honestly, he's like the second coming of Mark from last season, except not anything like him. That connection made no sense except for that they're probably going to get into showmances. What do you think about him?
I disagree in some senses. I think he's more Paulie than he is Mark. I think this is the alpha male that's going to try and take charge first, grab that like first couple HOHs, get that power alliance. Like this is the guy that forms the super majority alliance. And I think he is the kind of guy who flames out pre-jury, like early jury, you know, like he's going to start off strong, but he is the kind of guy that America will grow to hate and will love to see be taken down.
I would enjoy that route. I mean, you never know. Maybe he's like the Monty kind of, or like the Russell from that. I don't. Which season was that? That was Jordan's season. I don't remember. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
the one that like chest bump.
Yeah, that guy. So maybe something like that. These contestants, him and Winston, I'm looking at them and then I'm looking at the girls and I'm looking, okay, probably Angela, not Angie, maybe Bailey. Like, it does get me a little worried. We'll see. My dream scenario is Winston and maybe Steve on the block like week 1, and then replacement nominee is Brett. But I would kind of like to see the Paulie evil villain narrative. I'm one of those few people that like not many people agree with me, but I would almost a little bit like to have Paulie back on the season, even though he is so nuts because he's such a villain, and it's even though he's like an awful person off the show, it's just something that. What?
We can find other villains.
Who else? Who would you want to?
Anyone else? That's not named Paul. We don't need Paulie. We don't need Paul. We don't need season 18 again.
I think he likes PP, guys.
We're done there.
All right, and we're done. And we're moving on. He says that his strategy for winning the game is he plans to go in and establish a minor amount of control initially, then immediately pull back from the spotlight. I doubt that's how it's going to go. I feel like he's going to maybe get very into the power, and he's going to like the power a little bit, which is a way that could go. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see. He's someone. It's too early to tell with him. He's either like you said, there's many different routes this ship is going to go. It could go the villain. It could go the showman's partner. It could be the white bread. It could be like it's pretty open ended.
For Brett, I see him being a big threat to win if he doesn't take that power too early. If he does genuinely like kind of sit back and just be like in the majority but not doing any like major work, I think that we have to watch out for him winning, unfortunately.
All right. So, and on that note, I guess we're going to kind of move on. We've only got 2 more contestants left. This is going so quickly.
I'm excited for this next one.
Oh, you're excited for this next one? It's JC Montieux, I think. He's 28 years old from Miami, Florida. Currently lives in West Hollywood, California. He works as a professional dancer. Which past contestant he likes the most? He says Josh Martinez, which immediately sets off some bad red flags because if anyone's looking up to Josh as a player, I'm questioning a lot. But what do you think about JC?
Okay, I'm gonna be getting the obvious out of the way first. He's not here to play the game. He's not here because he likes Big Brother. He's here to make a name for himself. He's here because he wants to be famous. That's the reality of it. However, we got a real crackhead here. He's going to be the meme king of the season. He's going to be fun. He's going to get in fights. He's going to be entertaining. And I think, you know what? If you're famous, give us a good show too.
But don't be James.
What's that?
But don't be James.
I said good show.
Oh, no. The thing is, I saw him like in the when they announced the cast, and then I heard that he's actually very good friends with the Messiah, And I said, that explains it all. That makes scenarios. How did he do it? It was like scenarios.
Scenario.
He seems nuts, this guy, like just absolutely like insane. Like I was reading about him and some of the things that like you said earlier, he's not a player who's gonna play to win. He probably just is on the show because he wants to make a name for himself. But he's nuts, and I want to see him. Like my dream like duo is him and Chris or Swaggy C. I'm sorry. Like, can you imagine that partnership of the two of them?
I worry that they might actually target each other because they think that they might compete for the same like big
fame horn,
you know?
The fame horn.
Yeah, and go for it. I would love to see that.
Who do you want to win of the two of them?
Well, no, I don't know. I would like them both in jury. I would.
In jury? There's a lot of stuff out there about this person, and it was I don't know. Who knows? He's trying to. He says in his interview, I think he was one of the contestants. Like, I'm going to give you guys a show. If there's one thing I'm going to do, you guys are going to get a show here, and I appreciate that. Like, the thing is, I'd rather someone like him than a Matt. Like, just someone who's a fame whore, but at least someone who's like absolutely insane and is probably going to try to do something fun. Like, yes, these two people were both here to make a name for themselves, but you know how it worked out for Matt. Maybe it'll work out for JC the different way.
I completely agree. If you're gonna be on the show and you're not gonna play to win, you better give me a good show. And I feel like he's capable of it for sure.
All right.
Video.
The what?
The Pikachu video.
I've already washed my eyes out. He says, what do you think will be the most difficult part of living inside the Big Brother house? He says, I'm very good with people. It could be difficult to be liked by everyone, but I will do my best. His strategy for winning the game, he says, yes, he has one, and he's already thinking about it, and he plans to be the sweetest small guy that everyone would want to hug and kiss. One thing that I did notice during his interview is it is a little bit hard to understand him at times, which I feel could be like a little bit of a barrier. I don't think it'll be that much. It's just something I noticed. It's a little bit like Will and, oh my God, what was her name? From Big Brother Canada.
Oh, no.
Will and the girl.
Who
did the what? You don't remember?
I'm thinking of Ariadna from Celebrity Big Brother.
Big Brother Canada. Will, the French connection of the girl. Dre. Like, there was a little bit of like, it was a little bit hard at times to understand him. I don't know if that'll be like a big problem for him, honestly. But like I said, the fact that he lists Josh Martinez as his favorite player, a little worrying for me, because I don't think Josh lucked into his win. He didn't win because he was supposed to win. He won because no one wanted Paul to win. And all right. And on that note, we're going to kind of move on to the final contestant, who's actually the contestant that I've seen the most buzz. Like when the cast was revealed, this person had a lot of people were saying she's their favorite. It is Haley Rocher. She spells her name kind of weirdly, not like Haley, but Haleigh. She is 21 years old, so she just made the cutout to be on the show. She's from Village Mills, Texas. Her current city that she lives in is College Station, Texas. She's a college student. She says the 3 adjectives that describe her are classic, cautious, and contagious. What do you think about her? Are you on the train of people who love her?
So I didn't know there was a train of people that loved her.
Oh.
So the first buzz that I saw about her was people freaking out and being like, Aaron. And people like trying really hard to see if she was a racist, if she was a homophobe. It doesn't seem like anything came up on Twitter, which is a good start. I did see the picture of her. I think it was her with the deer, which that's caused some talk.
Yeah.
But I'm very neutral on her. I feel like a lot of these people I'm disappointed in. She's one where I'm like, okay, now what? You know, like I really want to see her in the house first, because she has a lot of like I was stalking her likes, the tweets that she liked, and she has some like funny stuff, and she kind of has like that like personality that I feel like might be a little hidden right now, and so I'm hoping that comes out. And she very well could be a Nicole type figure. I don't support Nicole. Let's not get crazy. But you know, like she could be that type of role in the game, which isn't necessarily exciting, but I think she could be a good player.
You don't like Nicole or Paul? Big Brother 18. If you were a juror, it would have been a mess. Who would you have voted for?
In 18, I would have voted for Paul.
Ooh, not 19.
No. Well, actually, 19. The thing about it is, like, clearly Paul deserved to beat Josh, but I was really happy he didn't.
All right. I'm in the camp that's a little bit unsure about her. There were a lot of people like saying that she does like a lot of supporting like people kind of tweets. She seems like very positive. There's actually a tweet of her like I think like a few days ago, like her freaking out and the guy from that movie, you know, the guy where he's like freaking out. He's like, ah. So she seems like someone who is a fan and is probably not going to take this opportunity for granted. Someone tweet surfaced from like a few years ago that when she was like so happy that Paulie was nominated for eviction with Corey, like the thing that I keep thinking is one of us. She seems like someone who's probably a big fan, and I always want to support fans, even if they're bad, like Michelle. Like they're just I'm someone who always.
Yo.
What? You don't like Michelle?
I love Michelle.
Not on the show. She was so.
Yes, on the show.
She was so messy.
She was crazy.
Remember when she took Pablo?
Remember when she was big niche?
When she was drunk? I think I was watching that on the feeds, and I was like, what the hell is wrong? What is she doing? Like, she put on a baseball cap, and she's, like, walking around, like, trying to rap.
Oh, she was cracked. I loved her.
And I guess that's our entire cast. So I just want to, I know this rumor probably isn't true, but I do kind of just want to talk about it with you a little bit. So in the event that there are some returning cast members, probably not true at this point. Some rumors, some names floating around that either there were some people who were going to come back and then they were cut. There was people, don't quote me on this, I think they were Ian, although that might have just been Evil Dick trolling. Shelly Poole was another name. Alex Au, I don't know if that's true at all. A lot of people were saying Alex Au, but by the way, go on.
The only solid ones I heard were Ian and Hayden.
Which Hayden? Oh.
Hayden, the Moss.
Yeah, I like Hayden Moss. He's one of my favorite winners. He's a pretty good player. I don't know. I would have liked like Shelly Poole, someone who I always like. I would like her back. Alex Au, I never want to see on my TV again because she was just. But speaking of Alex Au, when Alex was doing these interviews last year, she said that she would rather lose the first season and come back the next season and win, which was actually said by Brett this season, I think.
It was definitely said by Brett, and it was also said by someone else, and I don't remember who, but it irritated me.
The Alex Au, her presence is still lingering in the Big Brother interview booth. But that's actually that's all of our cast members. So I just want to ask, who are you the most high on, and who are you the most not so high on of this group?
Oh wow! Like overall.
Overall, just of everything.
So most high, I will give it to Angela for sure. And you know what? That was how I felt about Jessica last season, and I kept that feeling throughout her run.
I did too.
And then most low, wow, there's a lot more competition for that one. I would say Winston gets on my nerves. The Trump supporting cop gets on my nerves.
Okay.
We'll stick with those two.
All right. I'm gonna say the ones I'm high on. Probably Bailey, Scotty, because I'm just a little partial to the nerd trope because I like them a little bit, although he does kind of border a little too far. Rachel, I like a lot of these people. Casey, Swacky C and JC. People I'm not so high on. Just Winston, Brett. They're white bread, like you said. I don't know. All these are preliminary. Anything could change. Like the second they could step in, JC could be like the most annoying person ever, and like Angela could be awful at the game. Like you never know. So I'm kind of trying to keep an open mind. That's the one thing I'm trying the most of this group because you never know. Who do you think might be? If you had to predict if one person in this cast is going to be the dominating figure of the season, who's going to be our Derek, our Vanessa, our Paul? Who do you predict of this group might be that person?
I'm going to be optimistic and say there isn't one dominating figure throughout the entire season, but I'm still going to stick with who was it? Brett coming out strong in terms of the dominating figure for the first like third or so of the game.
Do you think we're going to have is one of these people the second coming of Dan? Hard to say. All right, so that's pretty much everything. I mean, I just any final thoughts on anything you want to say? Or is yours if you have anything?
The thing is, this is Big Brother 20. This is like it should be a big deal. You know, it's like the 20th season. I wanted more. I wanted something else. I wanted All-Stars. I wanted something special. And a social media like twist, that doesn't feel special for your 20th season. So I'm hoping maybe Big Brother could pull something else, but as of right now, I'm very underwhelmed.
The thing is, I feel like we're past the point of no return for that. Like, if you want to, the ship has set sail. This is kind of the angle we're going with. I do totally agree with you, though. I wanted this season to be all stars. I wanted Rachel back. I wanted Vanessa. I wanted Johnny Mac. The list goes on and on. Even Amanda, Andy, Alex Willette, who I know you hate, but I like anyway. All these people. Shelby, even, like, just, there's so many names, and I feel like at this point, I feel like it's honestly never going to happen. Unless it's like a Celebrity Big Brother version where it's like 2.5 weeks, which is just, it's such a shame. It's maybe Big Brother 21 will be, though, like the new era starting with the All-Stars. I don't know. But you did mention the social media twist, which was brought up a few places. It was actually in a commercial that they shared that the house guests better be trending or something bad's going to happen. What do you kind of think that's about?
I feel like it's gonna be very like Twitter and like Instagram hashtag heavy. Like, oh, tweet this person if you want them to have food for the week or something like that. Like, I'm hoping it's nothing crazy, that impacts the game. But I don't know. It could honestly. Twists are so hard to tell early in the season because it could end up like the takeover and just disappear, which was good. That gave us like a really fantastic season, but I don't know. As of now, I'm not excited by a social media twist.
All right. So since this is the cast assessment episode of our podcast, I want to ask, what are some of your hopes for the season? Like, what do you hope to see this season, and what do you hope to not see? Like, what are your hopes for the season? Like, do you want to see like more food competitions? Do you want to see less Den of Temptation and more do something else? Like, what do you want to see this season?
I want to see the have-nots go away.
Period?
Yeah. I don't think it adds anything to the show. I think if you want to do a food competition, okay. But I just feel like have-nots just drains your energy. It doesn't make you like agitated, or it just makes you lazy, you know? Like, you just get tired and you lose like the interest in the game. Celebrity Big Brother showed us like when you don't have something like that weighing people down, it's not providing us any extra entertainment. It made the celebrities constantly in the game, constantly excited. And that gave us fantastic television. I think that we should go back to the old style food competitions. They were more interesting, they were more fun, and it still kept people engaged.
In my opinion, I want as little fan interaction as possible. Like, that is my number one hope. Like, I would always hate, like, remember in Celebrity, but even like, I was going to say it later, but like in Celebrity Big Brother, like when these contestants get the power and then they're like, oh, America likes us. Like, that's just, that, like, it grinds on me like so much when someone's like, oh, thanks, America, I'm playing for you now. Like, I don't play for me. Don't play for your family. Play for you. Like, don't producers, don't give anything that will like shift or tank the game in any way. Like, just let it be a straight game. Let it just play out as it happens. Let legends be born. Don't try and screw people over with a twist like Big Brother Canada did with like the Erica veto. Like, just let it happen organically. Even if someone like Paul arises, that's a testament to Paul, and let it be a testament to Paul's game, and not because you threw him a twist that'll keep him around longer, is what I'm saying. I was ranting a little bit there. Do you agree?
I agree. But I'll be a hypocrite and say I only like twists if they benefit my favorites.
Big Brother, the Big Brother fan base is the biggest hypocrites like ever. And I'm even guilty of it too. When things go my way, I'm happy. When things don't, I'm not. So you know what? Maybe in a week I'll be begging for a twist. I do kind of want to say that I would like the competitions to be a little bit better. Big Brother Canada has completely blown out of the water Big Brother US's competitions. I want to see them step up their game. I want to see the more intense ones. I was watching Big Brother Canada and watching them step into the field and seeing what they're going to be doing. I just would say this is cool. This is interesting. I don't want to see another lame classic go-to competitions. I mean the spelling competition is classic. I would like to see that one, but I want to see a switch up on that. I would say to the producers invite, I think his name is Trevor Boris or something, invite him over because he's clearly there's nothing.
Trevor works on the US show.
No, doesn't he work on the Canada version?
I think he works on both.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure. Or no, it's Heath. Sorry.
No, it's Heath on here. It's Trevor. He's not doing anything now. Big Brother Canada is off the air for, although actually it was just renewed. But I want to see an update to the competitions is what I'm saying. Are there any competitions in specifically that you were looking forward to this season? Like OTED for me?
I love a good wall comp. Oh my God, I want the pressure cooker. Just do it, please. We ask for it every freaking year. Just do it, Grodner. Jesus. And if stop cutting the feeds when we get the long endurance competition. We saw it happen last season. We saw it happen in 18. Let us see it.
I was about to say, I want to be able to see the competition. I want to see the pressure cooker back. That's one competition that I'm okay with if it's totally, literally just a box. Just a box and a button. That's all it needs to be. I want to see that.
And we kind of got it. We got a competition like it in the traffic one that Jessica won after Cody came back. We kind of got something like that. And that's the kind of competition I want to see. Just let us see it next time.
That was awful. I remember that week of Big Brother, when Cody comes back and Jessica has the halting hex and everything is she's HOH and it all went to shit so quickly. God damn it.
I don't want to talk about that.
What?
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk. I just remember the hype on Reddit and all these social media sites when that news broke. Cody's back in the game, Jessica's HOH, and everyone's freaking out. The game has been rewritten, and then and then Ramsey went home. Oh God. All right. And on that note, I just want to say that for the rest of the week, this is going to be the schedule. So I'm going to be here with Eric talking about America's Got Talent. We're going to be having our mega episode. We're going to be talking about 4 weeks of the show. Then next week, I'm going to be podcasting on Tuesday with Ryan and Jason. Jason unfortunately couldn't make it, but he is going to be there. We are going to be doing our draft. We are going to be picking all the contestants, making our own teams. I think since there are going to be 3 of us, we might leave one person off, or we might figure something out. We haven't really hammered out the details on that. After that, the premiere of the show, I think it's Thursday, right? Or Wednesday?
It's Wednesday, and then feeds come on after the second episode on Thursday.
All right, so that Wednesday, I'm going to be podcasting for the next episode with Eric. Then that Thursday is going to be, we're going to do, for the first time, we're going to be doing a premiere recap. It's going to be you, me, and Jason. And after that, we're going to kind of settle into our regular schedule, which is going to be the Thursdays after the eviction, where we will be live. We will be talking all about what we just saw. It'll be 20 minutes after the show. I'm excited. I love American Idol, but when American Idol was canceled, Big Brother was the new show that I got so into, and it drew me in so quickly, and it's held me, and it's held me down, and it's got me, and I'm invested in it, and I'm so interested in seeing how the season is going to go. And I just want to close out by saying my name is Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. You can follow my 2 websites, AdamSoapbox.blog and AdamsTVblog.com. And where can we find you, Ryan?
Yeah, you can follow me at Ryan Temple TBH on Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, you should do that.
Should do that. All right. And on that note, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for America's Got Talent. And until then, thank you so much for joining us, Ryan. We'll see you again on the next podcast. And until then, peace.